What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 12, Guardians Breakdown. Now, I want to thank everybody that supports my work at patreon.com/Jaymoorereviews. Without the support of my true fans, I wouldn't continue being able to do this work. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And if you enjoy this video, hit that like. Let's get into it. And when it comes on, we see the Whispers, and they're walking through the woods, and we see Alpha talking to Lydia saying, "So what did you learn, huh? What did you find out?" And she's saying, "I didn't know nothing. I just found out a little bit about them." She's saying, "I broke my own rules to help you. What did you learn? If there's conflict, what will happen?" And she's saying they got a little bit of weapons and mostly farmland. She said, "Is that it? That's all you learned?" And I traded two for you." And she says, "Is that all you did to get information? That's why you rescued me?" That's a stupid question. Meanwhile, we see Michonne, and she's looking at that radio relay, and she's saying, "Why did you guys do that? You didn't tell me." And then you see Machine Gun Preacher, he talking about, "We wasn't careless with it." She said, "Not careless. Jesus died because of this. We have people die because of this. If anything, Negan got out because you were careless because of this. I can't do my job if you guys hide stuff from me." He said, "Well, we gave you veto power for security concerns, and now everything is security concern. And so what are we supposed to do?" And then Aaron stepped in. He like, "Michonne is right. We came across a group that wants to kill us, and it's dangerous." And then Habib say, "Yeah, but what do you want to do with that? We need to not be isolated. If we're isolated, then who will be there to help us? We need to do. What can we do if the kingdom falls?" And then the lady, she said, "The kingdom can take care of itself." And then Jill Scott said, I suggest we have a vote." And then you see Gabe say, "Well, it doesn't matter, she'll veto it." And she like, "Yeah, that's right, I will, because it's dangerous and we can't live like that." Then she walks off, and everybody looking salty as she walk off. Meanwhile, we see Rosita trying to fit into her skinny jeans, and she's starting to get a little belly bump. She can't do it. She go downstairs, and Machete Preacher is sitting there stressed out, and she like, "What's up?" He like, "I'd rather not talk about it if that's okay." And so then she's stressing, and she like, "Look, I know that you didn't ask for this, but I want to be with you." Because he's still conflicted on whether he should stay with Lil Rosie and the baby he know ain't his. Meanwhile, we see Henry, dumbass, he's trying to track down Lydia, and one of the Whispers catches up with him, tries to apprehend him, and he beats him down with the stick. I guess he still knows that Morgan dumb fool real good, and he tries to use it on Beta, but Beta, big ass, he grabs the stick, takes it from him, and then grabs him by the collar, yokes him up real fast, and takes him away. And Henry looking like a damn fool, a little punk little kid, when he gets taken away, and he couldn't do nothing about it to fight up against Beta. Meanwhile, Beta takes him back to the camp, throws him down in front of everybody, and says, "I found him. He'd been tracking us. He'd been tracking us for a while, but it was only him." And so then Alpha like, "Good work. Where do you think he's from? Who are you?" And he ain't saying nothing. She like, "Who are you? Where you come from?" Henry ain't saying nothing. He looking at Lydia. Lydia's quiet, hoping he doesn't start to talk too much. And then next thing you know, Beta grabs his arm and about to break his arm. She like, "I'll have him break your arm, and then I'll have him break your legs and let the biters eat you." And then he like, "Okay, I'll tell you. I'm from Hilltop. I came by myself, okay? I came for Lydia. I want to take her. I want her to come back with me." And then she runs up like, "You stupid." And then she punches him in the face. He falls out like a damn fool. And so everybody's watching. And then Alpha say, "You didn't tell me about him." Meanwhile, we see Gabe, and he's sweeping up the church. And then here comes dumbass Eugene, and he's talking all smart. And he say, "What can I help you with, Gabe?" Well, actually, it's what I can help you with. And I got this little, chart right here. And chart 1 shows the chances of you living with Rosita and everything. And actually, I got it broken down, and if it's kind of bumpy at first, but it'll all be all right in the end as time goes by. And then chart 2 says something else about how the mathematics work out. And he like, really? Chart 2? He like, I think it's be crazy to leave Rosita behind. She the best thing since sliced bread. And he's like, what is this? He like, well, this right here, this is something I found for her, a little peace offering. It's some little stretchy pantalones for her ever expanding bread basket. I hope that you all make it work out. I wish she loved me, but she actually loves you, and I don't understand why. You should go and be with her. It ain't up to you to decide. Just think you'd be a fool to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Rosita is a great thing. That left Gabe thinking about a thing or two. Meanwhile, we see the Whispers, and they walking through the woods, moving on. And then Alpha steadily questioning Lydia, what else did you learn? Who is this boy? Why he come for you? And she like, I don't know. I lied to him and told him I was scared, and he was in the cell next to mine. I guess he believed me more than I thought. She said, don't say that. You a lie, and you just a good liar. That's one thing I like about animals. They don't lie. But it's just words. Remember, it ain't nothing but air. Just words. He's a lie and he's a fool. And then she gave him a little apple to little chew on or whatever as dessert. And so meanwhile, they all moving in a little herd. Then they see another herd of real walkers. And then they start to look, and then they start walking towards where they going. And Lydia kind of see it or whatever. And she kind of like realizing the type of life that they living or whatever. And so then they come to where they going, which is their house. They camp. And Henry like, is this your camp? She like, this is home. And so Henry's taking a look, and these people are basically living like animals, just in the woods. And so Alpha and Beta are sitting there, and they talking about Henry, and Lydia. They watching Lydia, and so then they see that these dudes is eating little deer tartare, you know what I'm saying, little fresh deer meat, like White Castles. And so meanwhile, we see Negan, he's in the cell, he's reading the books, like law books or whatever, and then Michonne come, and she like, I heard you want to talk, but you only talk to me. He like, yeah, welcome back. She like, so what is it you want? I don't have time for this. He like, look, I understand what you got going on here. It's a great racket, but I came back. You can't keep a dog locked up forever. She like, oh, is that right? I think you left and realized there's nothing out there for you, and you came back. And so now you trying to tell me this bull crap as if I'm supposed to believe it. He like, well, I'm just saying, I can help you. She like, you can help me? What? He like, well, I listen out this window. I can hear your meetings. This thing that you got going on is on the verge of going south. And she like, look, I want to tell you something. We're going to board up that window. And then she saw that little Judy was listening. She like, we're going to tie you up, and we're going to fortify this stuff. I don't need your help, and we can't be trusted. And so he seemed a little depressed about that. Meanwhile, we see Death Beth, and you see she writing notes right here to, saying he caught up with Daryl, and Daryl like, maybe they caught up with him. And so she like, look, and then she's pointing around telling him where to look, and she see. And so Daryl's trying to get a little first class lesson on sign language. And then she points, and they see his dog picks up Henry's stick. And so he see the stick, and now he like, well, they know that Henry's softer than the other side of the pillow. So they know that he got captured, Daryl. And then next thing you know, some walkers come up. And so she pulls out her little slingshot, and she's a little slinger. And so she starts popping them, and then Daryl pulls out his, crossbow, takes out the other one. And so together they take down those two walkers. He sends his dog to go bring back his arrow, but of course the dog brings it and breaks it. He like, hey, bad dog. And then he didn't even get a dog a name. And so then Connie, she's laughing or whatever. Meanwhile, we see this walker head, and this dude Beta is like skinning it open with a knife. And so we see how they make the mask. And so he's trying to skin that head off right there. And you see Henry is watching in disgust. And so he peels the whole skin off or whatever. It's like Face Off with Travolta. And so he pulls it off to get a new mask. He puts it on the pike to dry. And then Alpha say, "You wonder why we do what we do? Because the world is dead." And so he like, "You're not dead." She like, "Civilization is. And so we have to adjust. Only the strong survive. And so that's what we had to do." And so this other member say, "So is that what this was today? You let two of ours, couple of ours die, and you traded 2 for 1. We never go back for the loss until it's your cub." She say, "Are you challenging me? You know what to do if you want to." And everybody gathering around, he say, "I challenge you for leadership." She say, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And then Beta grabs him and puts a knife through his throat. He like, "You changing the rules again." She say, "No, you got the right to challenge, and I got the right to defend." And then she walks over to his dirty girlfriend, and so he walks. She said, "I know it was you, and it was your idea." And she like, "I don't want to fight you." She said, "I know, but you over there with your boyfriend plotting in the woods. And if you want to try to take leadership, you need to speak up. I'm Alpha. You want to take it? Then you know what to do." And she like, "I don't want to fight you, but you led us astray. You didn't let just us down. You let us all down. We got our people killed. We are in danger with the boy here. You got us in danger." And then she walked behind her and put a little necktie around her neck. And next thing you know, gave her a Colombian necktie and decapitated her. And pulled it so hard her head rolled off into the ground. And it was pretty much over with her. And so Henry is watching in amazement and disgust at the same time at the gruesomeness that they are able to do. And so he's scared. Her head done rolled off. And then Alpha looks at Henry, and Henry is scared. You know, he don't know what to do. He probably done let a little doo-doo drop in his little pants. And so now they got Dirty Dwayne right here. And so she pulls off the head, and next thing you know, she goes over to Dirty Dwayne. After she shows everybody the head, she goes to Dirty Dwayne and then gives him a little head. And so he didn't know what to do when she came over with that head. He was kind of stuck, and Beta is holding him by the scruff of his dirty fro. And so she gave him a little head. He's sitting there, he don't know what to do because all head ain't good head. And so she gives him the little shush, shh, and then rubs him with that little bloody palm. And so he's scared, like about to shit a brick. And then she says, "Now this is for you." And then she stabs him in the gut and takes him out real quick. And so now she's eliminated the threat to her power. And so everybody got to watch, and she sees everybody scared of her now. She rules by fear. Even Henry is scared to death. And so meanwhile, we see Michonne, and she catches up with Judy. She like, "Were you listening in the window?" She like, "Yeah, I was listening." And she like, "Why were you listening?" "Well, I like Negan. He my friend. He listened to me, and everybody don't always listen to me." She like, "But he's dangerous." She like, "He's a human being, okay? He's a human being. You gotta treat him like that." She like, "Yeah, but he can't be trusted. He's done evil things to our friends, people I care about. He can't change." She like, "But you changed. You is able to change. Everybody can change." And she like, "You need to go to your room." But why? Why I need to go to my room?" She said, "I need some time to think for a moment." And so she reluctantly go to her room. She's a little pissed. And then Michonne is sitting there thinking, because from the mouths of babes, she thinking maybe Negan has changed. Meanwhile, Henry is scared. He notices Lydia packing up her little belongings or whatever. And meanwhile, we see Alpha washing up in the sink, with the blood off her hand. And she like, "It's been a while since I had to do that. Take my mask off." And so Beta take the mask off. She like, it's been a few years since I had to do that. I remember when Lydia almost choked. He like, hey, they owe you. You made them strong. You saved them. And she like, I remember when Lydia almost choked and I had to pull that plastic out and then I hit her hard to make sure she don't do it again. Meanwhile, we see there's people dragging the bodies of Dirty Lou and Peggy Sue and they drop them in the field for the rest of the biters to eat them. Meanwhile, Daryl's watching the whole thing, tracking them down with Connie, and so they getting ready to go over there and make their move. Meanwhile, we see Rosita and Habib, and they on the porch, and then Machine Gun Preacher walk up, and she's happy. Everybody's happy they about to talk, and so the three of them go inside like a threesome. And meanwhile, we see dumb Eugene, little smarty pants, over there smiling. I guess he think his advice worked. Meanwhile, we see Michonne going to see Aaron, and so they talk, and she like, look, I want to talk to you about the meeting. If the people want to have another vote to go over there to the kingdom for the fair, I won't stop them. He like, but it's not safe. She said, yeah, but it's their right to vote. Yeah, but it's not going to work. She's like, I appreciate your support, but they have the right to do that. It's up to them. He like, well, I hope we don't regret this. And so she says, yeah, me too. Meanwhile, Henry's at the camp, and Alpha and Beta is about to make Henry and Lydia fight because they wanted to know how Lydia feels about Henry and if she can still be trusted. So they throw a knife down and they say, all right, go ahead, you kill him, or else we gonna kill both of yous. Lydia's like, what? She said, yeah, you've been gone for a while, but let's see if it's been long enough. She's like, long enough for what? To see if you forgot whose side you on. Now kill the boy, or else we gonna have to kill both of you. And so Lydia pick up the knife reluctantly, and she's like really upset. She don't really want to do it. Then Alpha says, go ahead, don't be weak like your father. You know what happened to him, don't you? And then she like, yeah, I know what happened to him, Mom. And Alpha's looking, and she like, go ahead, kill that boy. And so Henry like, no, don't do it. And then a bunch of walkers come through the forest, and they start grabbing up everybody, and they hit Dirty Lou and start eating on him. And so he all messed up, and so all of them this Whisper start grabbing their mask and putting it on so they don't become lunch meat. And so they all going into the little mode of hiding. And then we see this one Whisperer walk up and grab Henry like, come on, let's go. And he like, what? And then it's Daryl, and he like, wait a minute, I'm not leaving without Lydia. She like, go, just go. He like, no, if you don't go, then I stay too. And then Daryl like, leave the girl, let's go. And he grabbed Henry, but Henry grabs Lydia and takes her with him. And they run, and then Daryl, I think, makes a mistake by taking that mask and throwing it down, him and Connie. And so they all run off in the woods to hide. That's how the episode ends. Now, I think that Henry is the dumbest character on the show. He's going to get everybody killed over this girl Lydia. I don't understand why he is so attached to this girl from one little kiss, a little smooch on the lips. He's gone crazy. I know they was in the cell, but they wasn't gay for the stay, so I don't understand what the problem is. Henry, we all know, is softer than the other side of the pillow, and he's putting the kingdom, Hilltop, and everybody in jeopardy by taking Alpha's daughter. They're gonna come looking for her because they know she doesn't belong with them, and that's her daughter. She already broke her rules once for that. She's definitely gonna do it again. And the big take also out of this episode is that Negan is going to change and end up being one of the good guys. I can see that in the next episode or two, it's going to be some scenario or something happening where they're going to need Negan's help, and he's going to show that he's a changed man, and he's going to end up being the leader of the group, especially since we all know Michonne is going to leave the show. Anyway, that's my breakdown of the episode. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like. Peace, and I'm out.